Hello everyone, this is D22 with you once again, and today I am going to be showing you a green screen tutorial in Sony Vegas. This is going to be a little bit more in-depth, so please forgive me if I miss some parts here. Now, what I'm going to be showing you is just a premise on how to get your chroma keying correct. Now, here I have a scene where I'm behind a green screen. Now, the lighting is a little bit imbalanced because I wasn't able to find any other sources of lighting, so the lighting that you see around here is mainly just a lamp that's on a stool. So the light is mainly towards where my mouse pointer is, and this part here is still a little dark, so the results may not be what I want, but this is just a general premise of how green screening in Sony Vegas works. So what you're going to do is that you're going to get a clip of yourself in green screen here, behind a green screen, make sure that the lighting's proper. So what you're going to do is you're going to click on this button, it's called the Event Effects button. And then what it'll do is it'll just bring up your effects chains. Now, your Sony Vegas won't come with the new blue version 2 chroma key, and if it doesn't, what we can do is we can use what's called the Sony chroma keyer. So you can double click that and then it'll add the effect on here. So what you do is you click OK, and then it'll bring up your video effects window here. So what you mainly do is that you can choose the color of how it'll turn out, but what you can do is you can go to a preset. So the preset will either be green screen or pure green screen, depending on if it's really pure. So you can click green screen, and then as you can see, it's changed from a little bit of a darker tint. So what that did is that it basically picked out the tint of the green that was on there. But it's not really accurate, as you can see here. It's still a little grainy. And what you can do on this menu here is adjust the threshold. So the first threshold amount is you adjust the low threshold, then it'll change. As you can see, my lighting is not perfect. So this part here is still a little faded out and blotchy, whereas this side here is totally keyed in. Now you can set the thresholds accordingly by adjusting with it so that it adjusts to the proper threshold. Like as you can see here, it doesn't key out properly. So that way you can just kind of figure out how it keys out. Now this is a little messy here because I am using the regular Sony Vegas keyer. Now if you have the new blue plugin, we can just remove that. If you have the new blue chroma keyer, one thing I like about this is that you can just get the dark area, and look at that. It keys it out quite well because it focuses in on the green that is dark, and that chroma keyer is more smoother. So that's one way that you can get a good chroma key result. You can use the new blue effects chroma keyer because it has more options, more frequencies, because the original Sony chroma keyer only had low and high thresholds and also the blur. But this one has that too, but this is more of an advanced keyer if you want to get the keying correct. So I mainly just keyed out everything here, but there's still a little bit of blotches, but that still makes it really good nonetheless. And then I use what's called a soften so that I can soften the key, and a shrink so that I can shrink it down to a proper level so that it gets rid of all the green that's in line there. But other than that, we're just softening it up like that. So that is mainly how your chroma keying in Sony Vegas works. If you have the new blue plugin, or what you can do is you can go to the Sony chroma keyer, and it's basically the same thing, just to make sure that your keying is on green screen. So that way you can look at the mask. You click on show mask only so that you can see the mask. Other than that, the mask itself is mainly just the keyed out area and also the keyed out area around it. So if you want to go back to the mask or show everything, then that's how you do it. You click on show mask to show the mask so that you can get rid of any black or blotchy spots, and then you can unclick it so that you can just go back to your original setting. Hope this makes sense so far, because you can go back and forth with this video and then you can just see what parts I missed, or you can just quote me on some things that I missed, and if you have any other questions, just leave it in the comments below and I'll try to answer them as best as possible. So what we do is after we key out our element, or our scene, we just close out the effects panel, and then what you do is you go to import media, and then you just find a picture, let's say a bookcase. I'm going to be using this bookcase as an example. So you put it underneath here so that it overlaps the picture. So what you do is, this is just a regular 4:3 picture, but we're going to make it widescreen. So, excuse me, for this picture, you click on Event, Pan, and Crop, this little white box here, and then what you do is you set it to 16 widescreen TV aspect ratio. So it mainly crops it to the widescreen format, and then you can see everything. So what we have here is a nicely keyed out scene like this, but you can still see some of the blotchiness, but technically it's keyed in. So other than that, that is a general rundown of how you key something in Sony Vegas 10, or if you have older versions of Sony Vegas. But the main thing to do is you have to make sure that your lighting is proper, and that you have a proper green screen, and that there's no shadows being cast. I made this mistake when I was doing my chroma keying filming, but this was just a general outline of how green screening works, and if you want to do green screening in the future, this video will mainly show you the way. It will allow you to just focus on the main concepts of what Sony Vegas chroma keying has to offer, and if you want to go to the new blue stuff like what I got, then that makes things a lot easier as well. So that is just a general premise of the green screen tutorial. Now, I hope that this helps you out within future videos, and if it doesn't, well, there's always the Sony Vegas tutorials you can look at on the Sony website that I have below as well. Mainly this comes from just general knowledge, and also I've seen a lot of my friends do it, and that is how I got a grasp of it. Well, I certainly hope this helped you out, and if it hasn't, I'm very sorry. Then watch another video then if this really hasn't helped you out. So thank you very much for watching this again, and tune in next time for another tutorial where I respond to your questions. And this mainly was a response to a comment that I got on my main tutorial on how to use Sony Vegas. So this will be a response to the how to use Sony Vegas tutorial. This is just more of a supplemental guideline if you want to know how to green screen. So with that being said, get field for life. Have a great day.